Okay, so welcome to the deep dive, and today we're going to be talking about the casting of American Horror Story.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we're going to be using some excerpts from this podcast called Behind the Screams.
Okay.
Um, and basically, we're kind of trying to figure out like what makes the casting of this show so so interesting, and how it contributes to the horror of it all.
Yeah, I mean, what's really interesting to me from the start is this anthology structure, right? You've got this like repertory company of actors who kind of come back season after season,
Right.
and they get to shed these previous roles and embody these like totally new, often extreme characters.
Totally. Yeah, and I mean, the source material even highlights Sarah Paulson as like a real constant in the series, right? She's been in almost every season, I think. And like, think about her range, you know? From like a sensitive psychic medium to like a manipulative cult leader.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's incredible.
That's a huge range.
Yeah, and then you've got Evan Peters, too.
Yeah.
Who's always delivering these like really intense and often disturbing performances. Yeah, it's like they become these familiar touchstones for you as a viewer in this world that's constantly reinventing itself.
Right.
Like the narratives shift wildly, but then you have these actors who you're like, oh, okay, I know them, I recognize them, but I have no idea who they're going to be this time.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and we can't forget about Jessica Lange. I mean, Constance and Sister Jude are like iconic, right?
Yeah.
But the podcast notes that she left after Freak Show, which I think was a pretty big shift for the show.
Yeah.
And then you have someone like Lady Gaga coming in, who apparently like hesitated to join Hotel at first, but then ended up winning a Golden Globe.
Wow. Yeah.
Which, like, I feel like that speaks volumes about the show's impact, right?
It really does. And it brings up this interesting point about how American Horror Story can attract this, like, really diverse talent.
Yeah.
You know, for these established actors.
Yeah.
It's a chance to play these, like, really multifaceted, larger-than-life characters.
Yeah.
Which is a huge draw, you know?
It's a chance to really, like, stretch their acting capabilities in this genre that really demands extreme.
Exactly. And the Behind the Screams podcast also talks about how like the show always brings in this new blood, right, to kind of keep things fresh.
Oh, for sure.
And they highlighted Emma Roberts as Madison Montgomery. She was like instantly the quintessential mean girl witch.
Oh, totally.
And then Billie Lourd, too. She was like a real scene stealer and Cult and Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's cool because these new actors, they introduce new dynamics. They can really subvert the audience's expectations.
Right.
You see performers like them come in and just like completely embrace this heightened reality of the show.
Totally.
And it really adds to this like feeling of unsettling surprise that each season aims for.
For sure, for sure. And then there's Finn Wittrock.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about transformation, right? He goes from this charming but twisted rich boy in Freak Show to a literal demon in Hotel.
Oh, wow.
That kind of range is like incredible.
Yeah, that's wild.
And the podcast even mentions that Cody Fern, who played Michael Langdon, the Antichrist, was actually considered for a completely different role at first.
Really?
Can you imagine how that would have like changed things?
That's so interesting. It just goes to show like the fluidity of the casting process sometimes. Like the perfect fit just emerges unexpectedly.
Right.
It also highlights how collaborative it is to create these like really specific and intense roles.
Totally. And the source also pointed out some fan favorites who are maybe a bit underrated.
Oh, okay.
Like Dennis O'Hare, who's just like consistently creepy.
Yeah.
No matter what role he plays, right?
It's true.
Like whether he's a vampire or a butler.
Yeah.
He just embodies this like feeling of unease.
And what's really compelling about actors like that is how they build this relationship with the audience over time.
Yeah.
Even in these vastly different roles, they bring a certain quality that resonates, and it contributes to this overall unsettling atmosphere of the show.
Exactly. And then you've got Lily Rabe with her incredible range, you know, from a sweet nun to a terrifying serial killer's wife.
Oh, wow.
And Frances Conroy, too.
Yeah.
The podcast mentioned how just her presence can create this eerie feeling.
Yeah.
You just kind of anticipate something unsettling when she appears.
That speaks to the power of, like, established screen presence within the horror genre. These actors have cultivated a certain persona through their previous roles, and the show really cleverly plays on those expectations to enhance the scares.
Totally. And here's a final little tidbit from Behind the Screams. Kathy Bates apparently ad-libbed some of her most, like, terrifying and memorable lines in Covet.
No way.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Like, that level of commitment is just Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, like, thinking about all of this, right? The returning veterans, the exciting newcomers, the audience favorites. What do you see as, like, the key to this casting strategy in an anthology like American Horror Story?
I think ultimately it's this ingenious balance of the familiar and the unexpected. The recurring past provides this bedrock of talent and this connection for you, the viewer. But the constant introduction of new faces and this radical reinvention of the familiar ones and these terrifying new guises, it keeps the entire enterprise fresh and surprising and deeply unsettling season after season. It really taps into our comfort with the known while simultaneously exploiting our fear of the unknown in these truly inventive ways.
So for you, the listener, think about this. How does the familiarity of certain actors enhance or detract from the horror in anthology series? Does seeing a beloved actor in a villainous role make it more or less disturbing? It's definitely something to chew on after our deep dive today. Thanks for tuning in.